And President Donald Trump has announced a ceasefire with Iran, claiming a complete victory. But the announcement has done little to silence growing calls from Democrats for his removal. More than 85 Democrat lawmakers have now called for President Trump to be impeached or removed via the 25th Amendment. Most of these calls were triggered by Trump's threat to bomb Iran and end a whole civilization. Lawmakers Sri Thanedar and Jasmine Crockett sent letters to Vice President J.D. Vance and the cabinet asking to remove Trump by invoking the 25th Amendment, which is the amendment to the Constitution. Representative John Larson, on the other hand, introduced articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. However, just before the end of deadline to act on his threat, Trump announced a 2-week truce with Iran. But several House Democrats made clear that their calls for Trump's removal still hold, and they still stand despite the ceasefire agreement. Minutes after Trump's announcement, Congresswoman Alexandria Cortez renewed her calls for Trump to be impeached, saying that the Republican president's announcement on a temporary ceasefire changes nothing. She claimed that President Trump has threatened a genocide and he must be removed from office, whether by his cabinet or the Congress. Others echoed her sentiments. Lawmakers Melanie Stansbury wrote, just because a president announces he's agreed to a 2-week ceasefire moments before he threatened to commit war crimes does not mean he is suddenly fit to serve. Senator Ed Markey welcomed the ceasefire but added that Trump can't simply threaten war crimes. He urged Congress to get back in session now to stop this war and remove Donald Trump. Well, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment can be used to remove a sitting president. But to initiate this, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and a majority of the cabinet must declare the president unfit to discharge his duties. If the president contests the removal, Congress must decide the issue, requiring a 2/3 vote in both the House and the Senate. Democrats lack the support, but their attack is an attempt to strike a chord with the public ahead of the midterm elections approaching later this year.